Ooh, ooh. Welcome to another edition of Blue Sicx Tarot, Halloween edition. Ooh, I'm still too cheap to buy a ghost costume. Ooh. Yeah, so, hi, I'm Blue Sicx. The fantastic, these are me doing thumbs up, can't really see. Yeah, so we're going to be doing a tarot review of actually a proper creepy looking deck. Yeah, if you do enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on the social medias. That's not my thumb, this is my index finger. But yeah, also we're going to try and see if this channel can hit 500 subscribers by Halloween, which would be really cool. So once again, thumbs up. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy and roll on that intro. Right, I've got to make sure I don't knock my foot over on anything this time. Not the best idea I've ever had. So today we'll actually be looking at a tarot deck that isn't by the Scarabeo. Now I know, we're all blown away by this, but right. So this is published by US Game System Inc. I've yet to see what ink they actually have to produce, but there we go. So first off, we do the old measuring test. So it is 3 inches by 5. So what I always usually consider the standard in size. So I've got a nice little description on the back there. This box I've had for a couple of years, so of course it's a bit well worn. One of the other reasons why, if you are starting out and want to get any tarot decks, I would always recommend you get a box or a bag to keep it in, just so it doesn't get grotty like this. But you've got nice imagery there, and a really cool kind of King of Cups there, and that's as blissful as this deck becomes. So obviously you have your standard book. Nothing particularly special in this. It does kind of go into detail about the theming of the deck. It is kind of more about the spirits of the forests rather than ghosts in general. Although the back of the cards do look pretty cool, and I am quite fond of that one. Very, very spoopy, if people still use the term spoopy. Now on the back of the box it says there is a bonus card. However, regressively that card has been mislaid. Yep, that's all on me. Well, I mean, it's no one else's fault, but yeah, that's on me. So unfortunately I can't actually show you the artwork for that, although I can guarantee it looks pretty cool. But we're going to take a look at some of the majors. So we're going to start off with, so I'm doing this in a couple of different ones this time rather than my standard. So first off, we're going to start with the Magician. And I like the with the feather here, I kind of get like a Indian Native American sort of vibe to this. A shaman, or shaman, however you pronounce it. With all the roots around going on here as well, and so you've got like the spirits in the background, I'm assuming eagles in the sky and what looks like a sun there and the moon there. The artwork is very very detailed. So this is not a deck for beginners, I'd definitely say that, but the artwork itself is quite breathtaking. So coming up next we have the Chariot. Now, this is kind of where this is where the moments of the deck are really dark. So it basically looks like the Four Horsemen. In fact, it probably is supposed to be the Four Horsemen. Either chasing after this poor soul here. But it does show how it uses its colours really well. And just how like the spirits kind of fade, the fading of the images of the spirits. It does look, they just they do look really good. So next we have the devil, but in this one it's chains. It's called Change, and it looks like Jacob Marley, and his whole appearance is just he's suffering, not necessarily in pain, but this person is not enjoying what they've got. And I like the idea of it focusing more on the one thing and being being restrained by change you've made yourself. I do think that's a really cool thing. Now next we're going to look at the tower. Now the reason I've chosen the tower is this kind of shows off more of the, similar to the magician, it kind of shows off the artwork of the scenes in which they're depicted. So it's not all just about how cool the person or people in the card look, but it's about the backgrounds and the environments. Once again, which is why I don't have the Fool as one of the cards in this, just because as much as I like the set card, these cards seem to kind of have a bigger emphasis on the feeling of this deck, and I think it just looks really cool. And last we have the World, and you've got this really cool skeleton bloke with maybe wings, which, I mean, if there are wings that'd be cool, but kind of raising up to the sun there, and you've got what looks like crows in the background there, and I'm not sure if they're supposed to, if these other skeletons are ghost skeletons or part of a decoration. Probably more ghost skeletons. You've even got like some random bloke there as well, and yeah, it's a really cool, creepy, dark deck. So when you open the deck itself, they do the thing where they start with the court cards, and starting with the king going to the page. But as the structure of these videos go, we're going to start with the minors, then we're going to end with the courts, but they actually have the courts appear first. So first of all, we're going to take a look at the Seven of Wands. Now, as I said, once again, the artwork is really beautiful. The colours, the designs just look amazing. Once again, these are still quite horrifying images. As I said, the box the box does not give the artwork justice. The artwork's lovely and everything, but you do not get the feel of what the deck actually brings. But at the same time, I can understand that these are not necessarily the sort of images that make you want to buy a deck. So if you like these images, go for it. But I do like the fact it's like a wizard as well. That looks pretty cool. And a zombie ghost, I think is the best way to describe that. Now we'll go with the Seven of Swords. So this one has more of, they have more of a lost feeling, but still maybe that feeling of determination. Also, like they've got the skulls in the clouds as well, and full moon. But yeah, this is more like the feeling of inability to succeed, or trying to succeed regardless of how futile the efforts may actually be. Oh, one thing I also wanted to add, you've also got the kind of like copyright in the corner there. So if you're the sort of person who doesn't like that sort of thing, not really much I can say. So now we have the Four of Cups. Now, once again, it's kind of very different to the classic. So this person does feel like they're not really wanting to be involved with what's going on around them, but they're in a situation where they kind of have to be. So if I was to draw this card, it would be like, yeah, you're kind of being a bit lazy, even though you're dealing with something that you should really be sorting out, like now, or maybe last week, because now it's probably now it's going to be harder to do now than it was going to be when it first emerged. And then we'll take a look at the Nine of Pentacles. Now, once again, this is one of those cards that shows off more of the detail of the artwork. So this kind of has more like an 80s style film, similar to what you'd probably have in like Labyrinth and stuff. Any form of Jim Henson work when he's a little bit darker, I guess. And but yeah, it's the faces on the stalactites look really cool, and they kind of look like there's like a fungus, I can't even remember what it's called now. Snotites, I think they're called, where they basically, where it's like bacteria, but they look like drips of snot in caves, and they produce sulfuric acid. But yeah, so it kind of looks like that, and also there's in fact they're kind of, some of the bits are spirally as well. As I said, this is probably one of my more favourite cards from this deck. Finally, we come to the court cards. So we have the Page of Cups here, and I still like the idea of there still being a lot of water going on in here, like a whirlpool above them, below, but they still have that feeling of staticness. There's no feeling of progression. There is that feeling of ponderance, and also the fact that their head is also blending into a dolphin, which is also pretty cool, and yet horrifying. But yes, I do love like the shades of blue in this, and the mixture of the greens. And the little shells there as well is pretty cool. So yeah, I like. It's still a nice feel to it. It's not as negative as some of the others, but I said at the same time, it's still kind of. He feels like it's more pondering than studying. So next we take a look at the Knight of Swords. Once again, looking at something a bit more horrifying, something to see in sleep paralysis probably. Even like the different shades of black and really dark blue, near navy. This does look very ethereal. So it's the thing where looking at it, you wouldn't know if it's solid or not. You're not quite sure if that's a ghost or a zombie ghost, but still, it has that really, it just has like a very nightmarish sort of look to it. We now take the Queen of Wands, and now this is probably one of the more passive of the cards. Now a lot of the majors are quite passive as well, but the fact that she's got, by a nice crescent moon, a very twisted tree. Which occurs a lot through this. You've got a lot of twisted trees, twisted roots. And is she? No, okay, I wasn't sure if she was floating in the water there, but this really cool artwork in regards to like the ground of which she's standing. Is that part of the tree? Is it part of the lake or river? Got the trees in the background there, and just like the leaves just flying away, kind of going around the curvature of the moon there. It's one of the more relaxing images, although she herself is ethereal, as you can see the background to her there as well. So last, we take a look at the King of Pentacles. Kind of looks like a very kind of pissed off Gandalf the Dead, with his wand, and also a pentagram on his shoulder as well, which I think is kind of interesting. And I don't know if he's supposed to be like a farmer's friend, or once again more of a merchant. Was he like the previous owner of the place that this person's now working? Once again, you've still got the knoll trees, and he's part of the route here, and I think it's pretty cool how everything just kind of blends in a very kind of, I guess, Lovecraftian sort of way, but involving wood rather than water, rather than the ocean. Yeah, I think these are a pretty cool deck. If you do like dark images that kind of break the tradition, so this isn't necessarily this is not a Rider-Waite-Smith style of deck. It's doing its own thing. Yes, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you again soon.